Jai Patel writes, will we ever see Disney return to traditional hand-drawn animated films?
I believe I heard that they were going to try like 1 or 2 projects actually in the next while, but I heard no details about it. I never even heard if they actually started progressing on that or not. But I remember last year hearing John Lasseter mention that they were looking at a couple of projects that would be in the traditional 2D animation space, but I haven't heard anything about it since. I'd be interested. What do you guys think?
I think we've seen a couple shorts come out that have been drawn that way, that sometimes release. I love that with Disney animated films, how they do the little short like they used to do. And I think a couple of those were in the traditional format. Don't quote me, but I seem to recall some. But yeah, I would like that too, as a little tip of the hat to how far we've progressed and just the nostalgia.
Yeah, and also, I mean, remember, not everything has to be 3D.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 3D, CG means so many different things. You have CG for RoboCop, so it's photorealistic computer animation, and then you have computer animation like Frozen. So, I mean, the world of CG is vast.
Yeah.
2D animation, the return to 2D animation still requires CG or 3D because it's all done in the computer now. Nothing is, aside from penciled, hand-drawn stuff that's then scanned and then it's inked and colored and manipulated in the computer. So even with the return to 2D animation, it'll still be all computer, and the end result will be like 90% generated in the computer. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I definitely see Disney, as well as other animation studios, continuing in the realm of using 2D. Nothing really is like 2D. 3D is its own thing.
Right, and remember too that a bad movie in 3D CG animation does not magically become a good movie if it's in 2D, and vice versa.
Right.
That's just the medium. A good movie is a good movie regardless of the medium it's in. A bad one's a bad one. Anyway, what's next?
Cody, aka Cody, writes, question, do you think that Marvel should be more detailed about their characters for the comic book challenged?
Read that again.
Do you think that Marvel should be more detailed about their characters for the comic book challenged?
I don't know what you're asking.
Like people that don't know comics
If they should give more backstory.
Oh, should give more backstory. Well, I think we're starting to see that, right? Like even with the, you know, the other day Fox put out all those pictures of all the characters from X-Men, right? Coming out.
With their little bio.
Yeah, they give little bios explaining who they are. I know Guardians of the Galaxy is doing the same thing later tonight. Damn you guys for not putting it out so we could put it on our show in time, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. But they are. I think you're going to see now studios doing more in their advanced marketing to give the non-comic book initiated, which is 99% of the population, more background and insight into who the characters are, so hopefully they get invested in them before the movies come out. What do you guys think?
Well, not to mention, like, yeah, X-Men was a really good example, but a film should be able to stand on its own without having the prior knowledge of it. So it's the responsibility of the filmmakers to explain the characters in enough depth and detail for those that don't know the subject matter. You see that with anything from, you know, book to film, comic book, anything, TV show. So it's really the responsibility of the filmmaker. I think they've done a pretty solid job. You know, I am less familiar with Guardians, and I feel like everything I've seen, they are explaining that property more. So I think they're doing an okay job. But yes, there should always be a lot of details to explain to people that don't have the love and affinity for it.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a great question because I think within the branded world of properties, I mean, I wanted to see a Micronauts series or movie or Rom the Space Knight, which was a weird toy. I mean, there's all these different branded characters and properties that come from games or television or from action figures or toys. Comic books specifically have blown up giant in the last 15 years. And pre-branding them and letting people become a little bit more aware of them, just as comic books, is a great idea for the mass populace, just so that they get to know who Cloak and Dagger are, or characters that no one would really know unless they were reading comics. So I think it's a great idea.
All right, what's next?
Jonathan Rivera writes, could Disney make a Jafar movie like the Maleficent movie? I love Jafar, he's dark and edgy.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I love Jafar. I thought Jafar is one of the great Disney animated villains. So much character and so funny at the same time. No. That would be a bad idea. I love him where he is. Leave him there. I don't think, no, they never will, and I don't think they should either. What do you guys think?
What if Maleficent is a gigantic success?
Jafar ain't Maleficent.
I know. know. He is great. I love me some Aladdin, so
Me too.
I'm partial to it. But yeah, I mean, I do love that they're telling it from the villain's perspective. I think Maleficent is really great, and it will probably open the door, but we'll probably see Ursula before we see Jafar or some of the other more well-known.
Don't doubt any straight-to-home video animated things, but a feature film on Jafar ain't Maleficent. I mean, so I don't think that'll happen.
I say, let's see Robo-Criminal. So it's just like, you know, a guy from prison given robotic powers. The trend right now is let's go with the villain. Maleficent, you have the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
Right.
We're going to see a lot more villains get their lead roles. Loki isn't too far behind.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
It's
Eventually,
happening.
phase 8 or whatever. Who knows? They might get it earlier, but that seems to be a trend that's starting up. And if Maleficent is a big hit, who's to say what the next super villain movie is going to be?
Right.
And I love it. I love
All
the
right.
trend.
Let's rapid fire here through 4 more.
Okay, Immortal Tony writes, what actor or actress would you like to see star in your life's autobiography?
Liam Neeson in mine.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Immortal Tony, I want you to play me in my life story.
All right, what's next?
Let's just do Angelina. Let's shoot for the stars.
Yeah. Brad Pitt as me.
Bazinga Guy writes, are there any female directors you like?
Oh,
I love Lynn Ramsey. She did We Need to Talk About Kevin, and that was a fantastic film. You should really see it. It's really creepy and edgy. Ezra Miller was the star, as well as, what the hell is his name? Wreck-It Ralph. John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly.
Yes.
I'll say Allison Anders. I'll say Jane Campion. I'll say
I love
Catherine
her. Yeah.
Bigelow.
I love
mean,
Catherine
if you
Bigelow,
don't
too.
know enough female directors, look it up.
Yeah.
I love Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah.
She's
I
amazing.
mean, a lot of people, I don't know why in hindsight, pissed on The Hurt Locker. But
Why?
Oh my God, what
the
a great
direction
film.
of The Hurt Locker is so well done. And
It's amazing.
It was kind of neat that she won her Academy Award for directing the same year that her ex-husband was nominated.
Cameron,
There's
yeah.
Some interesting drama
She
there.
also
Okay.
did Point Break, people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Karen Holt writes, question, can/should Sony add an original superhero into their Spider-Man universe?
Yeah, I think it would be a smart move at some point. I think they've got some ground to cover still, but to create their own brand new character, since they're trying to create their own Spider-Man cinematic universe, at some point they're going to have to introduce something. It wouldn't be a bad move to create their own.
That's weird. Can they do it? Is that violating whatever their rights are with Marvel?
don't think so.
Hey, Spider-Man Goobly Goop, our special guy who's made of weird silver nitrate. You're like, what? That's not in the comic.
I'm absolutely in with that description. So yes, absolutely.
All right, what's next?
Jonathan Barbosa writes, remake question, would you guys like to see a remake to Disney's The Black Hole?
I was never, I remember I was really young the first time I saw that, but I saw it again like 6 or 7 years ago. Honestly, I know a lot of people have a big nostalgia thing with it. I didn't think it was all that good or all that special, so I wouldn't be interested in it. What about you guys?
I thought it was cool. Don't touch it. I don't want it remade.
I want it 100,000% remade.
And the little floaty robots?
Vincent and Maximilian live again. I want to see it. Somebody make it.
All right, what's next?
You. I nominate you.
All right.
Jonathan Rivera writes, can DC ever attempt time travel in any of their projects, like Justice League meeting the Justice Society of America?
Yeah, they can, but to me, time travel, unless it is the core of what your whole universe is, like we were just talking about Terminator.
Right.
Time travel is the core plot point of Terminator. Other than that, I've talked about this before. Time travel, alternate Earths, alternate dimensions, alternate universe is all crap, cop-out, bull crap. I'm trying really hard not to swear. I'm pulling out every word I can and not swear. It's just, no, it's stupid. I don't want them to do it. It's idiotic. Not that your question's idiotic. I would just be really outraged if they did. I think it's a stupid cop-out, so no, I don't want to see it.
John, tell us what you really think.
If it fits with the story, sure, but I don't want them to just throw it in there. And the DC properties I've liked so much do feel a lot more grounded, like time travel wouldn't make sense. So far, I haven't seen where it would.
Well, time travel is not necessary. They could just go to Earth H or Earth 2. Or, I mean, DC, the universe itself already has multiple universes. So that it's not
Which
time
is
travel.
ridiculous.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, but I'm just saying it's like time travel to me is one step above like, oh, it was all a dream. It's like, it truly is like, did I
big
just
step.
watch 90 minutes? They're like, that didn't happen. So time travel is that
And
eraser.
as a hook, time travel can work as a
It can
hook,
work.
right? Like it's the whole foundation of A Days of Future Past. That is the foundational point of
And
that
that's
entire
gonna be
story.
awesome.
And that's going to be great. But to take an existing universe and just throw time travel in
Yeah.
it, I
Right.
would be against it.
It's not necessary
Yeah,
either.
I don't want. Okay, last question.
Jonathan Rivera writes, hey AMC, who's the top director today in the film industry? My choice would have to be Christopher Nolan.
Nope, it's Steven Spielberg. Christopher, look, I had this, came up before about a few months ago on AMC Mailbag. Talk to me in 10 years about Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan is nothing short of magnificent. He's wonderful. He's great. But talk to me in 10 or 20 years when he's been consistently great and he diversifies himself a lot more. Steven Spielberg is the gold standard.
So is James Cameron.
And Cameron is awesome too. But even Cameron hasn't been able to do what Spielberg is. Spielberg has made legendary, iconic films in comedy, sci-fi, period pieces,
adventure,
monster movies, you name it. Steven Spielberg has done it with excellence, and talk to me when Nolan has 5 Academy Awards or 7 Academy nominations or however many Steven Spielberg has right now sitting on his mantle, all for different kinds of films and different genres. This is a dude that can do, it sounds stereotypical because Steven Spielberg is the most famous of the directors, so it sounds like a cop-out to say him, but he is the most famous for a reason. He is the best, I believe, that there's ever been in the business. Nobody's ever been able to direct the way he has across every imaginable type of film, and he's shown he can do it all with excellence. So Christopher Nolan is definitely great, but talk to me in 10 or 15 years. And then maybe Nolan can be in that conversation with a Spielberg. So if you were to put together a Mount Rushmore right now of film director all time, who would be on that? Who would be the 4 guys on that Mount Rushmore?
You definitely have Spielberg, you'd have Scorsese.
Yeah,
and then,
I agree.
Because you're asking me, I'd have Cronenberg and David Lynch.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's just
really?
me. I mean, you asked me, but that's,
Well,
that's a good
difference.
list. That's a good list.
That's the difference between the filmmakers that really speak to us and the biggest ones in Hollywood eyes. Steven Spielberg is incredible, but he's not on my top 5 favorite list of directors. Nolan is higher for the films that really speak to me and just his approach and his really interesting subject matter. So I do see what he's asking, but to me, I agree with you. Nolan speaks to me about his work more. So it really is a different list. But in the Hollywood perception, Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, those are the bigger names.
Yeah, I think if I were going to put together that Mount Rushmore, it would be Spielberg, in no particular order, Spielberg, Scorsese, Hitchcock. I might say Cronenberg too. That would be an interesting one.
Cronenberg's last 2 movies I did not like, but his earlier work is so powerful to me that I'm allowing him 3 more. I mean, 5.
You are a 5 guy.
But yeah.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.